to my Earle Wellbeing Instagram Live. I wonder how many of you are tuning in to see whether I am still alive. And yes, I am. I am fasting. I am here at the incredible Booking a Willamy clinic in Spain. You may remember that I actually went to check out their clinic in Germany kind of this time last year and investigate the whole principle of really serious fasting under clinical medical supervision. And I love my time at Bookinger in Germany. It's very different from here in Spain, which is why I wanted to come here, because the focus is different. So I am going to be writing about it. You'll find it in the magazine and online in a little while, and I'll do some little film clips for the YouTube channel as well. But yeah, it's going really, really well. And no, I am not hungry. I was a bit hangry yesterday. And you know, you hit a wall after a few days and then you pop out the other side. And actually, I remember when I was in Germany, I didn't actually want to start eating again because you get on a roll. Anyway, any of you tried fasting? Any of you been doing it? I also recorded a podcast not that long ago with Dr. Jason Fung, who's kind of the godfather of intermittent fasting. You'll find that on the archives of the Earle Wellbeing Show podcast. And I did a podcast recently with his colleague, Dr. Megan Ramos, I think her surname is, who's written a brilliant book all about intermittent fasting for women specifically. So yeah, fascinating stuff. I'm really, really enjoying it. And actually, I'm doing it. A lot of you are asking why I'm doing it. I'm doing it obviously for research because it plays into longevity. And as you now know, I have an amazing project coming out next year, all about longevity, all about a better second half is the title of my new book. But it's all about how to live well for longer, and fasting plays a part in that. And so it's not just about how our cells and our body respond sort of on a physical level and all to do with weight loss and all of that, which is kind of obvious in a way, but it's more to do with the neuroplasticity in the brain and what's happening in particular with cognitive decline, dementia, Alzheimer's, memory, neuroplasticity, creating new neural pathways. Really fascinating. The whole subject of longevity, I think, is just so extraordinarily interesting, and there's so much happening, which is why I'm thrilled that we've got a great guest for today. We're going to be doing a deep dive into longevity with Elizabeth Bayliss, who is the brilliant CEO of GP Nutrition, Gabriella Peacock Nutrition. We're going to be talking about many things. We're going to be talking about this in particular, very appropriately named longevity complex. So what is in here? What's it going to do? Let's discover that. Keep your questions coming below and I will keep an eye. Also keeping an eye will be Lainey. I'm going to see if I can add Lainey from my team. So we always have a moderator on the channel, basically somebody from my team. So if you've got any queries about the magazine, about the podcast, about articles, about any of the amazing Liz Loves discount codes that we managed to get, then Lainey will be able to hop on. We do, of course, have a discount code with GP Nutrition. It's 15% off everything across their website. They've got some really brilliant products. I've talked before about the glucoman fibre, which is particularly to help with weight loss, fills you up, keeps you feeling fuller for longer, very good for the microbiome as well. Lots of really good things on their website, so do check that out. That's gpnutrition.com, and Liz Loves gets you 15% discount on everything, including longevity complex. So, Elizabeth, I wonder whether you are there. Let me have a look and see. Here on the outer edges of Marbella, up in the mountains overlooking the sea, will be strong enough to patch us together, because I really want to talk about some of the interesting things in here. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am very, very well, thank you. I am feeling very empty and rather hungry, but apart from that...
Well, you're glowing.
Thank you. I'll tell you one of the reasons why I'm glowing, if I am glowing, is in my haste to come here, I threw a load of things in my suitcase and I forgot my makeup bag. So the only thing that I had in my handbag was an eyeliner pencil, which I've scribbled over my eyes, and a lip pencil, which I rubbed on my cheeks and my lips.
Nice.
And I have no powder. So normally I would like powder my face, especially here because it's freaking hot. Am I allowed to say that? I think I am.
Yes, you are.
Anyway, but we'll pretend it's just a healthy glow, okay?
Well, it looks like it.
So talk to me about longevity complex. Is this a new supplement?
Yes, so this massive congratulations on the announcement of your book, by the way. That's huge. I've got a time lag on you. Can everyone hear me? Just checking that.
Oh,
You're
I
back
don't
now.
I don't have a
You're back
lag. I'm sure
now.
people will say, but if
Perfect.
sometimes it settles, so
Perfect.
let's see. But I'll try not to talk over you, okay?
No probs. So congratulations on your book. Wonderful, exciting news. Obviously, we've known for a little bit because of the podcast you did with Gabriella, but really exciting. And that is where Longevity Complex was born from, was Gabriella's book of 2 Weeks to a Younger You, which came out earlier this year, around April time, I think it was. This year's gone very quickly. So my concept of what happens when is a bit skewed. And I'm really enjoying this rising tide of conversation around, especially amongst women, of what about the second half, and so it's just music to my ears, and all these conversations that for so long have either been hidden around kitchen tables or they haven't been being had and things like that. And it's just so wonderful that now we can talk about menopause, we can talk about second life, we can talk about longevity, and it's just lovely that has such a place. And longevity is a conversation that goes across men, women. It goes across starting younger and then coming into it at whatever stage of life that you come into it. And it will do different things at different stages of your life. And so, the main ingredients of our longevity complex, I'll explain the mushroom part first because that relates to what I've just said. So we have the medicinal mushrooms, which I get slightly overexcited about medicinal mushrooms because I just think they're so wonderful and they do so much. And mycelium networks and all the things that these mushrooms do for us is just so incredible. And it's incredible to us at this stage, and what I say about coming in at different times, in that they are adaptogens. And we've heard of adaptogens in different ways, of sort of the ashwagandhas and things as well. And an adaptogen means that you and I can take the same medicinal mushroom and have a completely different response to that on a biochemical level, depending on what our body needs at any given time. And so whether you're starting your longevity journey as a preservative at kind of 25 and you take those medicinal mushrooms, your body will respond in one way. And whether you take them at 65, postmenopausal, male, female, wherever you are, it will adapt to what your body needs then. So we put in, there is a number of medicinal mushrooms that you can use, but we went for the three sort of main ones on these, which is lion's mane, cordyceps, and reishi. So lion's mane is I'll simplify it as I always try and do on these things, because there's so much you can say, so I'll try and condense it. So lion's mane is your focus.
Yeah.
Then cordyceps is more your performance, and then your reishi, I would say, is more about soothing. Within that, they also do a lot more, but those are kind of, for me, the key headlines.
That's really interesting to break it down like that, because it can be really confusing.
Yes.
As to what they do. Lion's mane, I love. I take lion's mane. I actually took lion's mane just before this this broadcast. I took it separately, but I love the fact that it's in here. And I give it to my boys. So I've got a boy who's 13 who's just started in a new senior school, and my son Kit, who's just gone into second year at uni. They both tend to lack a bit of focus sometimes, get a bit distracted, and it really helps both of them. I sent Kit off to uni with his lion's mane, and I find if I'm working on a project, it just gives me that little edge.
Yeah, it just locks you in, and there's also evidence confirming that it can help with new brain cell growth and things like that. So it's not just about in that moment, it's about really serving your body ongoing. And I think I have this frustration with supplements where if I try lipstick, I know what it looks like straight away, or a lip line of what I've got. If I take a nutritional supplement, I might not see or feel a benefit instantly. It might take me 3 days, it might take me 3 months. So I always like to try and explain that, yes, you might feel that little bit of sharpness straight away by taking a lion's mane, and I always take it with my coffee in the morning, along with some L-theanine to kind of counterbalance. But actually what it's doing in the background is so many other things, and what medicinal mushrooms and adaptogens and a number of other things do is they help feed the mitochondria of the cells. And this is where we really get into the longevity conversation, because again, I'll try and break it down. I have to simplify it for myself, so that's how I try and deliver it for others. Mitochondria I see as kind of the battery pack of a cell. So it helps give that cell the energy, and then the cell can do whatever it needs to do. And as with most things within our bodies, as we age, our mitochondria function slows down a little bit. And so the resource goes where it's most needed. And it's why we find when we are lacking protein or things like that, sometimes we can experience hair loss or muscle loss, etc., because the body will use what it sees as the most important function. And so if the body sees energy as the most important function for the mitochondria, it won't then be going to things, it won't be going to helping us with anti-aging or those kinds of things, you know. So by supporting the mitochondria, we are allowing the body to keep doing all the things it's so good at doing for longer, if that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. And you know, you won't be surprised to know that there's a big section of my new book on mitochondria and how to activate them and how to preserve them. So just to recap, I can see lots of people late to the party. Where were you? You're going to have to rewind and watch the beginning. There's 3 magical mushrooms, not magic mushrooms, but magical mushrooms in here. Lion's mane for focus, cordyceps for energy, and
performance,
for performance, and reishi for soothing.
Yeah.
You've also got another real favourite of mine in here, and I'd be interested to know why you included this for longevity. You've got quercetin.
Yes.
Now, I take quercetin as a mast cell dampener. It helps with histamine intolerance. If I get mosquito bites, especially here in Spain, actually, I've been taking extra quercetin because the mosquitoes are biting me. Why have you put quercetin in a longevity supplement?
So quercetin is really important on a number of levels. One, it helps with DNA repair, which obviously as we age, that's something that we really need help with. And it helps preserve genome integrity in the body, which again comes back to the DNA repair, etc., etc. So, but for me, the easiest way of explaining it is it's the reason, and obviously that's what you're doing at the moment, is the fasting. So one of the number one reasons that we do fasting is to help with autophagy, which is this process of helping a cell complete its life cycle, essentially. So cells are meant to keep dividing and dividing and dividing, and a cell that is no longer dividing essentially should be going through its death cycle, etc., as all living cells should go through, but they don't necessarily, because the body tries to save them. And this is why we need antioxidants to help with healthy cells, but also the process of autophagy, which survival of the fittest, keeps the healthy cells and lets the old cells die. And so quercetin helps with this. They're called senescent, isn't that right? Senescent cells.
Senescent cells.
So it helps those, and it helps that process if you're not in a state of autophagy, and not everyone fasts.
Sure.
Hopefully we go as long as we can through the night without eating, but not
don't get up in the middle of the night
10 hours.
Bad idea.
But quercetin really helps with that. So for me, that was one of the strongest reasons for putting it in there. So A, helping with the DNA repair, but B, helping with this natural life cycle of cells, because we know that if we have these, it's hard to find the right word, but these cells that aren't dividing and functioning as we would like them to and doing their natural life cycle are dangerous.
In my book, I do talk about senescence, and I refer to them as zombie cells because they're a bit like the living dead.
Yes, exactly that. Exactly that.
They're cells that are kind of hanging around in the body. They're sort of barely alive, but not really. And they're wreaking a bit of havoc. And they should really just be kind of cleared out.
Like a rose bush, we prune what isn't giving life to the plant.
Wood.
Exactly that.
So the rest of the body can thrive. So that's the quercetin. And there's more, which is really good. Green tea. So here we talk about catechins. I never know whether to say catechins or catechins, but catechins is how I'm going to pronounce it. Is that for energy, or what specifically is the green tea in here doing for longevity?
Mostly the polyphenols. That's what we have it in there for. So that's why we sort of break out so that you can see the polyphenol levels. So really wanting the antioxidant to, again, help with those zombie cells and help with the healthy repair, but also life cycle of cells. So when cells have compromised walls or, those kinds of things, the antioxidants can come in and help those cells either repair, or if they're beyond repair, it can help with their life cycles. So that it's the polyphenol aspect of green tea that we use in this.
Interesting. I can see a question here from Lorraine about quercetin. Yeah, quercetin is really one of the supplements that's very helpful for senescence. When you're looking at the whole kind of life cycle, mitochondrial activity, and helping with autophagy and just sort of supporting everything. These are words, guys, that you're going to have to get to know. Okay, this is really, really important, and we're going to be talking. We're going to come back to it again and again. So don't worry if you're thinking, flipping heck, what's she talking about now? I have no idea you're talking another language. It is complex, but at the same time, it's quite straightforward because our cells have this cycle and they live and they replicate and they die and they need energy to keep them going. So the mitochondria, as you said, Elizabeth, are this little powerhouse within the cells. And if we can replace our batteries, I mean, we're literally renewing our body with something like this, with kind of new batteries. It's like putting new batteries in every morning.
Yeah, and I remember last time you asked me a question, I didn't know the answer, and I've persecuted myself ever since, which was about whether we can get NAD from natural substances and things. And what I want to reinforce here is that when we're looking at supplements are literally supplements. Yeah. They supplement a really good healthy lifestyle, a really good healthy diet, and taking in as much of your nutrition from food and things as you can as well. But with mitochondria, it's even more important to have this healthy, balanced life, because if you snooze, you lose, essentially. So if you don't keep the mitochondria going, they don't, so you have to expend energy to get energy. So exercise is really important. Absolutely. But refueling the mitochondria with the right supplements and the right foods and those kinds of things, that's really important. So it's not like once it's gone and it's irreversible. Sure. You can absolutely bring that back through healthy lifestyle, exercise, etc.
Yeah. And I think, these are all useful adjuncts. And, what I found particularly through doing the research for my book, and I'm so pleased I can actually finally talk about it, because I've been doing so much research in the last couple of years and learning so much, and just had to keep quiet about it. And because my publisher, didn't want me to say what I was doing until it was sort of ready to announce it. And it is definitely possible to get various nutrients from diet, quercetin, for example, in red-skinned apples, red-skinned onions, a few other sort of brightly coloured fruits and veg, but not necessarily in the quantities that we need as we age.
Correct.
Because as we age, we need more. A, we need more, so our requirement goes up. But B, our ability to produce it and metabolize it goes down. So, we've got this double negative here. One, we need more. Two, our body is able to process less. So it's really kind of, not on our side in terms of food, which is why I do take very specific supplements. I don't supplement with everything. I don't take a broad multivitamin, multi-mineral, because I get all that from my food, but I am very specific about things, and certainly, quercetin is one of them.
And I think being inclusive is really important for us as well, because soil health is deteriorating, therefore the nutrition that we get from the fruit and veg that not everyone can afford organic, all those things. So having things available so that it's a level playing field for people, and health isn't based on what people can and can't consume, etc. Gabby did a wonderful interview last week on This Morning talking about yogurt as a superfood, and how we can overlook the humble foods, that actually are available to everyone. So, it's all these things are here, and these supplements are here to help above and beyond, and it's just that topping up. That's why these things, and as you say, it's that double negative of, gosh, I'm producing less and I need more, so how can I top that up?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And so it's a longevity supplement, which it's called Longevity Complex. So that kind of implies that it's for older people.
Yeah.
What would you recommend in terms of starting age? And is there anybody who perhaps shouldn't take it, who's contraindicated?
Really great question. So no contraindications in terms of any of the items that are in there. We would always advise, if you're on any sort of medical protocol, that you seek advice from your GP before you start any form of nutritional protocol, because it's just wise and sensible, and they will know.
They may well have no idea, but what you can do, more helpful here, is you can look online. You can look up contraindications.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, don't rely on medication of Google. And if you are under serious medical, care, and you're taking things like blood thinners, for example, or SSRIs, then you may well want to have a conversation. But be prepared that the nutritional training of GPs is virtually zero. So unless you're fortunate and have a GP who has, personally invested their own time and understanding a bit more, and it's always much easier to say no than it is to say yes.
And you're always welcome to ask us as well. Of course, Gabriella is our nutritional font of knowledge, and therefore any things like that, as our leading nutritionist, we can answer those questions. So always ask us. So in terms of when you can take it, really good question. And that's why I sort of referenced at the beginning this, you can start your longevity journey at 25, you can start it at 45, wherever you come in. And I think, I don't know about you, but I can get quite caught up on, oh gosh, I should have done that early, or, that kind of detrimental attitude of, wherever you are today is wherever you are today. So start wherever you are. And the great thing about this is, it's not just about longevity. So don't think, oh, well, I'm not aging, so therefore I don't need it. So we've got the quercetin, we've got the curcumin, we've got the green tea. We didn't mention the curcumin, but those are the quercetin, curcumin and green tea. That is anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, which we need at any age, because increasing research is constantly telling us the number one cause of disease is inflammation within the body. And we have to be really aware of that. So yes, this is longevity, but this is also overall health. And whether you are in middle age, older age, we're all preparing for that journey. And so, the greater foundations you can lay now, do. Then the mushroom side of things, again, mitochondria, again, if you don't use it, you lose it. We know now that the earlier we start weight training, the better that is for older age, and we will have muscle memory and we will hold on in that capacity. So the same with this, the more you strengthen and flex your mitochondria now, and the more you power them and the more you use them, you are training your body and that muscle to help you later in life. So actually, longevity journey, the earlier you can start, the better. That being said, don't punish yourself if you hadn't, and come in wherever you are.
I think that's really sage advice. I look at my own kids, for example, Lily, who's 32, and all the things that she's doing now. And, I do actually feel quite envious that she's got this opportunity to bank all this goodness. And, I didn't even realize I was perimenopausal, for heaven's sake, in my 40s, and I'm now 60. And it's like, gosh, I really feel that I'm playing catch up. But at the same time, I know that I can see a difference. I know that I'm fitter, stronger, healthier, happier, at 60 than I was at 50. And, why doesn't that incremental increase then carry on? I'm fully expecting, barring the proverbial under the bus accident, to be fitter, stronger, happier, better in every way at 70 than I am now, because we've got all these tools. We know all this stuff. We didn't know this before. Autophagy, that, was a Nobel Prize winning discovery only about, I don't know how long ago, 16, 17 years ago. So it takes time for this to filter down. And I think, I can see a conversation actually going online for those who are watching live about quercetin. And quercetin, you do find it in some foods, as I mentioned, red-skinned onions, red-skinned apples. That's why if I have an apple, I always buy the red-skinned ones. But not so much. But yes, very good for histamine and allergies. I think you asked a question about rhinitis, allergic rhinitis, and absolutely quercetin might well help with this. But what I like about this is that it's got all the different things in it. So and then my community here know that I love mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms. Well, I like all mushrooms actually. But the fact that you've got lion's mane, you've got cordyceps, and you've got reishi in good quantities, those three. And you've got quercetin, and you've got green tea, and you've got curcumin. I mean, that is a really well formulated, very good value supplement. If you're going to buy all these things separately, that's expensive. And you're taking, 2 capsules a day that has got all of that in it. So it's a bit of a no-brainer. If you're interested in these individual ingredients that we've talked about at length before, and think, actually, do you know what? I'm not going to buy 5 different things. But I like the sound of all of them. They all make sense. I'm just going to get this.
Because compliance is such a difficult issue. And that's what I mean about, after 3 days, if you don't see a difference, you do with a face cream. So you think, oh, great, I'll keep using it. But with supplements, compliance is the hardest issue. So and that's why we call them complex. So we sort of redid the range a few months ago to say anything that's got more than one ingredient, we're going to call a complex. Because we've gone out to say, Gabby and I are the guinea pigs, right? And we sit with pills everywhere of, okay, I take a bit of this, and I
like
take a bit of that, and I want that, I don't, that one
You
not so
just
much. And then we're
in my
like, how do
kitchen.
we combine them? I mean, it's wonderful. I've got a whole cupboard full of these things.
And you
And
just
so we do
discern the
that thing
ones
you
that
don't have to.
stand
Exact,
out.
great word, discernment. Yeah. And so when we're putting together a complex for anything, we have gone away and done all of that and said, yeah, okay, like I take other mushrooms, I take turkey tail, I take chaga, I take other things as and when I need them. But for me, to the general populace of what most people would like and what most people need, actually, I think these three, the lion's mane, the cordyceps and the reishi, are a really lovely balance. They work really nicely together. And again, they are adaptogens. So they will do what you need, what I need, what anybody else needs. It's that lovely combination.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And before we go, I'm also loving, I've got this here because it is quite sunny here, your astaxanthin.
Do you know,
love.
It's so funny. We had a meeting this morning about that, our astaxanthin, because it's, as you say, these words that we hadn't necessarily heard of recently, they're growing, and astaxanthin is amazing. I saw this article the other week, someone talking about actually the astaxanthin can help prevent grey hair and things like that as well. So astaxanthin is a red algae that gives flamingos their pink colour. It's brilliant, and it's slowly rising. People are learning more, and it is one of the ones that you do actually see quite a tangible benefit from. So we're noticing that finally the astaxanthin is really catching on.
Well, I've got it with me, and it's lovely to chat. Thank you so much.
Not at all. Enjoy the rest of your time out there.
So impressed with all of this. At least I can eat my supplements. If I can't eat food, I might have to start munching on the capsules rather than swallowing them. But anyway.
Brilliant. Well, enjoy the rest of your time out there. Lovely to chat as ever.
Lovely to chat to you.
See you soon, Liz. Bye.
Bye now. Bye. And just to recap, that was GP Nutrition. Thank you so much, Elizabeth Bayliss. And she's the managing director, works very closely with Gabriella Peacock, who I did indeed have on my podcast very recently talking about longevity. So you can find that in the archives if you fancy it. They have given us very generously 15% off everything on their website. Go and check them out. And that is gpnutrition.com. Talking about generous discounts, before I go, I was last here with our friends from Bimuno. I also have these little sachets with me. And this is a prebiotic. So this is like fertilizer for your good gut bugs. You can put it in tea, coffee, water, milk, smoothies, cereal, whatever you like. It is heat stable, and it basically feeds the good microbes. And we need those, especially at the moment, guys, because our immune system is under attack. So much stuff out there coming into our lives. Get your immune system strong and robust. Support those good gut bugs. And they have given us, it's nearly a third off. Honestly, I think this is possibly the most generous discount we have. So you save up to 29% when you subscribe. So you just get these sent. I think it's a 3-month subscription. I give these to my kids. I've sent them to Kit at uni. Brella's got them. You know, I saw them in her cupboard the other day. I was thinking, yes, you're taking them. Not only in the cupboard, I saw the empty packet in the bin, which shows that they're not just in the cupboard, but they are in her as well. So you just need to go to bimuno.com/Liz Loves. It's a special unique code. It's just for us, guys. It's just for this community. So bimuno.com/Liz Loves, and that gets you your discount. You still have to use Liz Loves. If you don't want the 3-month subscription, you can just buy 1 pack and they give you 15% off. So still worth trying. Also 15% off at the lovely MV Skin Therapy. MV standing for My Vision, My Values. Don't we love that? Wasn't that such a great chat with Sharon? Love that. Anyway, this little bottle of rose essence, which is the most heavenly smell, very good for your skin. I'm using it all the time out here. Has 460 doses. That's how concentrated it is. This tiny little bottle. Thousands and thousands of rose petals in here. If you love roses, oh my gosh, you're in for a treat. Anyway, that is just about it for today. Of course, thank you for all your amazing messages to do with my new book. I am beyond excited and can't wait for actual publication date in April. Do make sure that you're pre-ordered if you're interested, because it is going to fly, and it'll be first come, first served. We put a link up in the bio. So it's a super easy link. It's only loaded onto Amazon at the moment because That's what booksellers do with pre-orders. But if you pre-order, then you will be the first. Before it even hits anywhere else, you will get your order sent to you. So please do that. Otherwise, you can go to my website, which is lizearlewellbeing.com/a better second half. And that's a-better-second-half. Apparently. So thank you very much, team, for putting that up. Last week on my podcast, I did something that I didn't think I was going to do. I had a very in-depth conversation about sex. Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. We went to places that I didn't think we would go to, and certainly places that I don't think I've been to on my podcast anyway. So it's with the brilliant Kate Moyle, who's got a fantastic book on the science of sex. So if you fancy a listen, do go to the Liz Earle Wellbeing Show. You'll find that on any of your podcast platforms, however you listen, Acast, Apple, Spotify, all of that. They're all on there. Or you can go to the website and there's a link. There's a little button that says podcasts. And if you click on that, that current podcast will ping up, plus all the archive ones. So if you want to research for anything over the last, gosh, I don't know, 5 years, maybe, that I've been doing my podcasts. I think we've had something like over 5 million downloads, maybe heading for 6 million. I mean, it's extraordinary. So yeah, it's something that comes out every Friday. Absolutely love them because the guests are truly superb. And it's basically my conversation with them, but they get a lot of time to talk and tell us the things that are really important that we need to know about, especially as we age, and we age well, and we step into what is hopefully going to be a better second half. Anyway, thank you. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, thanks for the kindness about the podcast. I do love them. New one, of course, out on Friday, which I should tell you about shortly. But I hope you'll be back with me on Thursday. I'll be back live, 12:30 UK time. That's 1:30 here in Spain. So I must make sure that I get my time right. I'm sending you big hearts in the meantime. Thank you for all your comments and kindness. Really appreciate it. Love being part of this community. See you again very soon. Bye-bye.